Okay, thank you, Dirk. Our next speaker in this session is Oleksiy Osiyevskyy. He's joining us as an assistant professor in the entrepreneurship and innovation area.
Okay. Yes.
Let's start there.
Thank you, Emery. So, hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to discuss with you my passion, which is about business models. And this is the capstone of my research agenda. I have adjacent projects, but ultimately, they all converge into idea of a business model. Right now, it is sort of a hot topic in strategy and entrepreneurship literatures. Not too many people understand what business model is, but still write about that stuff. My dissertation was about business models, and I spent probably first 2 years trying to figure out what a business model is. And then it seems like I found a solution, and now I just cannot understand why it is not widely used everywhere. So, anyway, business models. I will start with a little case example. So let's imagine a bunch of students in engineering decide to work in the industry developing apps for tablets, for Android or for Apple's iPads. It is quite easy to start this type of venture. So the question is, how can they make money? How can a firm make the money in this industry? The most obvious and initial answer to this question was, well, sell your applications through App Store, through like basically App Store or Android's analog to App Store. The trick is that it doesn't work anymore. So if you're an established company and sell, for instance, Office Suite, you can still sell something for $10, $20 per application. But for any other type of application, there are free substitutes, and usually this model does not work anymore. The other option was subscription-based services. It works for some companies like Wall Street Journal or Financial Times, but not for everyone. The other option is, well, this is what is going on right now. We will offer in-app purchases. So a person gets the basic version of an application for free, and then for every additional feature or every additional level, a person has to pay. And this is what is working right now, actually. But we can think about other things like trying to sell ads within our applications, as dictionaries do. We can use something donation-based. We can do a lot of things. So the question is, how does a firm make money? There are different approaches for making money. And the trick is that every choice requires major rethinking of the way business is organized. So the way you generate revenues requires changing of the whole business. And this leads me to the notion of a business model. So in existing literature, people use business model as it is strategy, it is value chain, it is organized system of activities, but it's really hard to operationalize that stuff. But if we really think about what a business model is, a business model at the end of the day is a routine. It is a recurring pattern of activities for value creation and appropriation. So value creation means that you do something valuable for your customers and for your stakeholders, and because of that you get resources from them. Value appropriation means that your model is working in such a way that you have some residual income to keep for the firm and for the shareholders. So a business model is a routine. It is a complex routine, but ultimately it is a routine. And this deserves to be a separate unit of analysis, like products, like industries. Business model, in a particular industry, we can have a couple of business models that compete with each other. Some are profitable, some are less profitable. We can have different antecedents and consequences of business models. So business model becomes a unit of analysis. And ultimately, it fits really well into resource-based view of the firm because, as any routine, business model is a capability, and we can study business models from the perspective of resource-based view of the firm, which is very important for entrepreneurship and strategy studies and international business. So, business model is different from strategy because strategy is more general. Strategy is actions to secure rents and achieve competitive advantage. Business model is how exactly you generate money from those rent mechanisms. It is different from processes, technologies, because processes are too small. And finally, it is definitely not marketing mix. It is the organization of value creation and appropriation in the firm. So probably I will skip this slide. Ultimately, business model, you can look at it from three perspectives, and it has three interrelated components. Value structure is value proposition for every stakeholder, for key stakeholders, not just customers, but up the value chain, down the value chain. It is about transactive structure, how operations are organized within the company and on its borders. And it is resource structure, how you organize resources and capabilities to support value structure and transactive structure. Why is this important? For entrepreneurship studies, ultimately new venture has to get a business model. It is not about product or new technology. Any innovation is commercialized through a business model. So when you go and try to get venture capital funding, you try to show that you have a viable business model, a viable way of earning money on your invention or on your innovation. For entrepreneurship, this is essential for new venture development. This is essential for even Schumpeterian type of entrepreneurship, when new business models disrupt established industries. It is also business model problem, not technology problem. For strategy, again, resource-based view of the firm. Business model is a resource, valuable resource, and you have to think about how to create value from it. For international business, this is also interesting because ultimately business model is a firm-specific advantage, and it will determine how a firm goes global, modus of entry, how a firm will achieve local responsiveness when moving abroad, what to tweak in the business model if you go to different countries. And now about what exactly I'm doing. So right now, this is the broad view, but what exactly I'm doing right now? I'm looking in the first couple of projects, I'm looking at drivers of business model change. So for instance, does crisis lead to innovation, business model innovation or not? I look at real estate brokers and I look at universities. I try to see those who are in crisis. Are they likely to change their business model or not? And what are the contingency factors? The other thing is I'm looking at, for instance, proactive resistance, when established companies with established business models don't want to let newcomers come. So how they resist, what are efficient strategies for resisting, what drives that? So right now I'm looking at antecedents to business model emergence in new ventures and change. And I'm looking at consequences in different contexts of business model change. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And actually, with my co-authors, I'm collecting some data about Chinese multinational, about when doing expansion abroad, how do they change their business model, what is going on there. So overall, this is my elevator pitch. This is the stuff that I'm doing using actually existing strategies, so using existing theories. Key idea is business model is a phenomenon, not a theory. So I am applying existing theoretical lenses to explain what is going on. Thank you.
Thank you.